So with that, happy to take any questions you may have.
Jack?
So with regards to your efforts to pass that property, Prop 2, Republicans tell a different story because they say you weren't in on the legislation, you weren't an author, you weren't a co-author, you weren't a co-sponsor or sponsor of these property tax relief bills. And so what do you say to that? They say you weren't the one who brought everybody together.
Yeah, that's incorrect. I was the main author of this bill, the lead author of this bill in the House. You can ask Senator West in the Senate. I am the reason this bill became law. Not only was I the lead author, I was the one who was at the front mic making the argument. I was the one bringing the votes together. This bill has my name on it at the very top. So you can check the legislative records. I am the reason this bill passed, and that it is my proudest accomplishment as a legislator.
Lena?
Hi. I'm wondering, you have obviously a lot of proposals here on this handout that was given out. So if you were elected, what would be the number one priority when you go into office? Or first?
Yeah, so on this issue of early childhood education, I think we have a real opportunity at the federal level to bring Democrats and Republicans together to pass universal child care for every single family in this country, regardless of the zip code that you're born into, regardless of your skin color, regardless of what language you may speak. We can ensure that every single kid in Texas, every single kid in the United States gets access to high quality child care just like this. It shouldn't be a privilege for the wealthy few. It should be available to every single child. And not only is, again, it's going to help our economy, because that means working parents are able to rejoin the workforce, be able to give their gifts to our communities, but it's also going to be a game changer for education, because the educators here will tell you that the first 1,000 days of a child's life, the first 3 years, are the most important when it comes to brain development. It's when the architecture of the mind is being built. 1,000 neural connections are being formed every second at this age. And so it's why it is so important to have high quality childcare providers in every community, and ensuring that they can stay open, that we give them the property tax relief they need to pay their workers what they deserve and to lower costs for those working parents. And if we do that, it'll be a game changer for our economy, and it will be a game changer for our education system. It's why I led on this issue. It's why I brought both parties together to pass this historic constitutional amendment. Even as a Democrat in a Republican-dominated legislature, I was able to bring both parties to get this done, and it's why we need to elect a senator who has experience passing this kind of major legislation to bring down costs for working parents.
KRA?
Go ahead. I know childcare is one of many issues that will come into play in the elections this November. How crucial do you think this issue is to your success this November?
I think it's huge. It is a silent crisis, because if you don't have young children, if you don't have someone in your family with young children, you may not know that childcare is more expensive than college. You may not realize how difficult it is to afford quality childcare like this. And so we have to have a senator who understands this crisis, who has experience tackling it in the halls of power, and who is committed in the U.S. Senate to bringing down costs for working parents.
Oscar, you've got one?
There will always be, to every action, a reaction. Why do you think there are still people who oppose programs like this? Why do you think anybody could want to oppose affordability of anything, especially something like childcare?
Well, there's actually a simple answer to that question, and it is money in politics. Because most politicians in D.C. don't serve working people, don't serve working parents, because they're not donating giant checks to political campaigns of politicians at the federal level. There is no PAC for toddlers who are trying to get affordable childcare. So we need to elect servant leaders who don't take that corporate PAC money, and who have a track record of actually serving working people, of serving small businesses like this, and serving our tiniest Texans. I have that track record. This bill that allowed this child care center to open was my bill, a bill that I wrote, a bill that I passed, and it's exactly the kind of experience that I'm going to take to Washington to keep fighting for working parents like the ones that are here today.
Any more from the
Yeah, Jack.
So I wanted to ask you about the concerns in the black community that you've heard about in Houston. on Sunday night that you're not doing enough to gain their support. And so this, I know, has been percolating under the surface for a couple months now. We saw it come out in full view publicly on Sunday. And so I'm wondering, why is this still an issue, do you think? And you said that you've pledged $25 million in support to getting out your message in the Black community, I think that is. So why is this still a problem, and what does $25 million of getting your message out look like?
Well, there is no way to win Texas without Black Texans. If we're going to do that effectively, we have to show up for, invest in, and listen to Black communities, and that's what we've been doing over the course of this campaign. We have been convening Black business leaders, Black faith leaders, Black elected officials all over the state, in the big metro areas and in the smaller towns. I've been visiting Black-owned businesses and Black churches all over Texas. I've been appearing on Black media here in DFW, in Houston, and national Black media. And then we've been holding these town hall discussions, including in Houston on Sunday and in DeSoto yesterday. And we have had really honest and productive conversations about how to ensure every Black Texan feels represented by this campaign, feels a part of this movement. And it may not always be an easy process, but it is one that we as a campaign are committed to. Because as the next U.S. Senator from Texas, I will represent the most African Americans of any senator in the country. And that the work of representing Black communities starts now. It doesn't start after Election Day. And so not only is this effort meant to ensure that we are successful on November 3rd, it is also to ensure that I am an effective representative for Black Texans across the state. And that process is going to be ongoing in the weeks and months ahead. And I feel really good about the progress we've made. You've seen it in the polling. We are polling better with Black Texans than any Democrat in modern Texas history. And so we need to continue that progress. We got to keep our foot on the gas. We got to keep showing up. We got to keep investing in. We got to keep listening to Black communities all over the state.
But the part about the $25 million.
Yes, yeah. I spoke last night in DeSoto and in Houston this weekend about our commitment to spending $25 million on Black voter outreach. That is the largest investment in Black voter outreach in modern political history in Texas. And so I hope it demonstrates just how deep our commitment is to bringing Black Texans into this movement and ensuring that we have a senator who's going to fight for them in the halls of power. I think people are responding to the fact that our campaign is putting our money where our mouth is. And you're going to see the fruits of those investments in the weeks and months ahead.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you guys. Appreciate y'all being here. See you soon.